Hey everyone, Gone Turbo here. In this video we're going to look at the Display Enhancements mod. It's had an update recently and it'll be important to kind of know how the new features work and some of the pluses and minuses of this mod and the update. In my other video, which is a pretty long tutorial, everything else still much applies, just that the interface looks different. One of the things that this mod does is changes the overall look of your game, changes the way your screen looks, similar to the settings on your TV. Anyway, this video is really just going to show you what the update entails and what is a little bit different, because it is a little bit different. First and foremost, I made the mistake of updating the mod without even reading the description. So if you have updated this, if you had it and updated it, then there's going to be a little trick to making it work with your current saves. The description says don't download the update if you already have it installed. So if you already had it installed, basically don't download it. I went ahead and downloaded it. I updated it. And if you do that, you go in to load a game, you're not going to find it. You're not going to see it. At the same time, the update says that you won't be able to continue. You have to start a new game, a new character. But that isn't true. I actually found a way to make it work with a current save. So I don't know, I'm like level 30 into the game with no leveling mod. So here's what you're gonna do. If you've updated this already without realizing and can't get to it through normal save, what you have to do is go in to your mod load order and delete display enhancements. That's the first thing you're going to do. You might want to write this down. So delete it from your mod order list. Then exit out. Load up the save that you want to load up, where you want to continue. So probably your most recent. So load up a save and then create a new save. After you create that new save, then exit the game, go back to the mod, Bethesda mod lists, and reinstall display enhancements. Then exit out of, put it in the correct spot in the load order. Then exit out. I would recommend doing a hard reset, and then start the game back up and load the save where you left off. Load that last save. It might say the mod will pop up and it will say something like display enhancements activated. It might say exit and load up again for display enhancements to work. So that's no big deal. The good news is, because you got the message that display enhancements is now downloaded, it should work. You'll be all set. So that's how you get around the issue of, it's saying you have to start a whole brand new game. I've tested it twice and it works. So the first time I just happened to panic and figured, well, if I delete and start over the mod, if I delete the mod and reinstall it, it might work, and it actually did. So I got lucky there. But I tested it again, and it should be good. All right. That being said, I want to show you guys how to navigate the new menu here. Okay. So this time around, the mod pops up still under Magic, but it is now in the powers category, you're going to see display enhancements spell, activate that. And then you're going to use the shout button. So it's typically the right button, the right tab button. And when you press that, instead of a full screen menu, you now have this small menu here that pops up. And basically, most everything is still there. First of all, the one big difference is that you don't have to keep casting a spell to layer each effect. And you'll see that in just a second. So here are the example presets. Now the one thing to note is that there are more presets. There's 30, but it doesn't give any description of what they are. So you're going to have to play with them. Some make your game, you know, again, the black and white, it might be more of a orange tint to it. There's all kinds of stuff. The eye candy, if you remember that one, that's still there. The cool thing is you can just hit back and you just keep going. You don't have to recast the spell every time you do something. All right, cinematic options are still there. Now here's the deal. Brightness, saturation, and contrast, plus and minus. Each time you press one of these, watch what happens. I want to hit saturation. It pulls it back up. That means you've made a layer of it already. And again, so I'm just continuing to layer these things by pressing. I don't have to recast the spell every time. You can have a negative effect as well. All right, you can go back. Red, green, blue options are still available. So if you want to change the tint, you add. And if you want to add any fade, you add the fade. All right. HDR options, again, same thing. I adapt speed, bloom radius, bloom blur radius. These I don't use because I have no idea what they do. I don't see much of a difference. Now, in regards to red, green, blue, under options, when you first install this, you won't see red, green, blue. You have to go down here to options and enable red, green, blue. So you have to do that before you see red, green, blue in your list right here. Generate random preset. I believe when you press on that, something random will happen. I don't mess with that unless I want to experiment. You can save your current settings, and then you can load that setting after you've saved it. But again, each time you save your game in Skyrim, your settings will still continue to be there. You can also remove all effects, which we'll get to in a second too. Now, field of view is the one that I want to show you guys. Field of view zooms and, I guess, draws the distance away in your view. Now, there's field of view 10, and there's field of view 160. Now, the default field of view, I've been playing around with this, is field of view 90. So if you want to go back to your original view, you have to go field of view 90, just so you guys know. 180 or 70 or 110, you're like, I don't know if I remember where I was at. It's 90. If you take the value of 160 and find the difference, 90 is right in the middle, and that's the default view. Anyway, so if you go, for example, field of view 30, you click on that, then you have to open up your map. So you exit out, you can open up your map, and you start to, as you can see, zoom in. It's a little crazy as you get closer, but this will be a really cool feature for taking screenshots, is the only thing I can think of it as a good thing for, which I do a lot of, actually, and I'm going to have another video on that sometime soon. But anyway, that's what this does. So you press shout button to go back to this menu, field of view. We're going to go back to, let's try 120. If I press the B button, actually if I press the B button once, I actually don't have to go to my map, it just pulls it up. Now it's like a draw distance further back. I mean, it's kind of neat, but to play this way, it just seems a little bit stretched on the sides of the monitor. It would just have to be something to get used to. Whoops. It also zooms out your map as well. If you go really far back, it starts getting crazy. All right, 160. Check this out. Wow. It's totally trippy. All right, that'll trip you out big time playing that for a while. All right, so again, if I go back to field of view and go back to 90, that's default. Boom. Okay, the other crazy thing for you guys to know is that I looked at this mod on the website, and the mod author states that he's going to have the, for lack of a better word, the data menu to see how many times you've layered something. That's not here right now. He said that he would add that at some point. I'm not sure when that might happen. The other thing that I'm not sure, there's these 3 little dots that pop up sometime. I don't know if that means you have effects already set or if you don't. Now, here's the most important thing. Remove all effects. Now, maybe it's my load order, but this takes a while to happen. You'll see in the upper right corner, it said removing settings, and then it says, I think, please wait. And eventually, what will pop up is something that says, I think, all effects removed or done or something. I've clocked this a bunch of times, and sometimes it takes up to 30 seconds, even 45 seconds for everything to clear, depending on what you might have. It's a little frustrating. And at first I was, playing around with the layers. I'd go to remove something, and it was getting all kinds of wonky with different colors and effects. And so you can just see it changed right there, but I don't know if that's the lighting. Sometimes like a little fraction will pop up, like 265 out of 370, and I'm not sure what that really means. Now, this looks like it has reset, but I didn't get a message yet saying it reset. It usually says done with effects or something like that. It just seems to take so long. And again, it could be the mods, it could be the fact that I have a ton of them. See, nothing's happening, so let's see. I don't know, and I can't tell, there's no data thing to say yet how many you have. So anyway, it says please wait. Anyway, my recommendation is 3 layers of saturation and 2 layers of blue tint, all in the positive direction. And check out some of my other videos for more about my load order and how to make a great looking game. But hopefully this little overview of the updated display enhancements has been helpful with a few tips on what to expect. All right. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.